coming into the project, we were really excited to do a lot of new things we hadn't done before. I think DLCs sort of give you the opportunity because they tend to be much smaller than the big base games. So there's less you kind of have to juggle with. You can kind of focus on the experience throughout. And because of that, we really sort of try to push what we've done in Pillars before. Everywhere from our art, area design, sound, character design, writing, on all fronts, we really pushed as far as we could. And I think everyone on the team sort of answered to the call and managed to put something out that I think players are going to be really excited to see.
Yeah, there's a couple cutscenes we did that I'm really proud of, namely with the Dracolich. Is a very big and cool character, and we did a lot of big set piece animations for that. And some of them turned out really cool with some of the VFX we did, and it just was really fun to do as well.
With the Beast of Winter, I think I'm most proud of Vatnir, the guy we're adding to your party. I think the team is really excited to add a Priest of Rimmergand. I think the team is really excited to add a new Godlike. I think his character is great, his voice is great. I'm really excited for people to get him into their party and play.
We do a lot of exploration of Pale Elf culture in Beast of Winter. Or that's something that I did a lot of in my writing, and I got to develop a lot of that. I'm very proud of that. I think that it's a really interesting, compelling kind of worldview for people who live on the edge of the world and are inundated by this religious faith of nihilism.
One of the things in the DLC that I'm most proud of is the Drowned Kingdom. I saw Lindsay making the concept for that area and I thought it was so cool. I just immediately tried to finish the task I was working on so I could jump onto that scene. So I could be like the first artist in there because it was so cool.
I'm excited for the players to see a lot of the crazy stuff in the Beyond that we're exploring. We go into that at various points in the games, previously, but we don't really do a full exploration of that stuff. But in Beast of Winter, we're like really kind of getting in there. Probably the most impressive thing that I think we did is actually the Godhammer area, which people will see later on. It is really cool.
It's a moment from lore that I don't think they'll be expecting when they hit it. And it looks just really cool. That entire scene looks amazing.
I think we pushed a little bit more on visual storytelling than we have in the base game a little bit. We've focused more on actually making like cutscenes rather than just all text. While our text is great, we wanted to do more stuff that players can see happening before them.
Working with a smaller team is actually really cool. Everybody is extremely focused and wears kind of like a lot of hats, so everybody kind of gets to really take ownership of all the things that they're working on, which sometimes on a larger team you don't really get that because you'll have like a lead and a bunch of people kind of working under, and you're kind of working in your little section and making that work. But here you can kind of own like larger pieces, and everybody was just really engaged with that. And I think we came up with a good product because I think everybody was so engaged and worked really well together like that.
A lot of us are in sort of the same area, so it's become a lot more intimate and it's a lot more, it's kind of lax, but it's also just a lot more fun.
It feels like a little family. It feels like everyone's got such a great attitude and personality, and it's fun to all work together like that.
We all sit in the same room together, we all collaborate, we talk every day, we have a lot more stand-ups together, a lot more just like meetings together where we show off our stuff and critique each other and things like that.
It's a little bit more freeform in a way. There's sort of less rules, mostly because there's just less people. So it's really easy to just throw a lot of ideas at a wall and just see what sticks.
Is awesome because everybody gets to work with everybody and talk to everyone. And we all kind of sit in a big open area, so when you hear somebody kind of brainstorming, everyone joins in and we all get super excited and we all kind of feed off of each other's energy, which is, I think, great.
Probably one of the things I was most excited to see because so the proposals I made for a lot of the areas were pretty ambitious. We were trying to do a lot of crazy stuff, and it's sort of really hard to picture what the end result is going to look like from an environment art perspective. But once our environment artists took a crack at some of these scenes, I honestly believe it's some of the greatest art that we've put in any Pillars game, period. And I think players once they see some of these scenes, they're not going to forget them.
Each of these expansions brings a lot of kind of new, weird stuff to not just Deadfire, to Pillars in general, that we don't necessarily have the time or the resources to explore, play with in a base game.
I'm excited for them to experience all the new things we put in. There's some things we've done in these expansions that we haven't done in base game. There's a lot of, I feel like, freedom of expression allowed on this project. Like, since the base game laid the groundwork, we got to just add stuff on top of it. And I'm excited for players to see like all the new kind of things we did that they probably haven't seen in the original game.
Think of the player who goes through all 3 DLCs is going to get an expanded view of the gods' roles in Eora. You know, the gods are obviously very central to PoE 1, very central to Deadfire because they won't stop talking to you. But in these 3 DLCs, the player is going to get the opportunity to meet with them more face-to-face, individually.
Something that we're really striving to add with the DLC experiences is to explain not only how the rest of the world is somewhat dealing with what's happening in the Deadfire during the events of the base game. Like, not everybody is completely entranced with this giant storming across the Deadfire. There are other problems in the world and other crazy things going on, and we're kind of exploring that.
The message I would give to the team after working on Beast of Winter is that I'm just really proud of everybody's work. Honestly, I haven't worked with a more talented group of people in a long time, and it was really cool to see people put together something that I think fans are just really going to enjoy. I think this is just going to be a fun, cool experience, and honestly, it recharges us to make more DLC later on.